Love, peace, and light. Christina Ariel here. Mic check, mic check. Want to talk about what I mean personally when I say karmic, just to make it clear moving forward. So, you have karmic behavior or karmic episodes where you are acting in your ego when like we call it nowadays in society, we call it being petty. So when you're being petty, where you know the right thing to do, and you know you should probably let something, just speak your mind on something and let it go, but you don't. And you do something that was probably low vibrational, not over the top, but something just really probably perturbed or angered the other person or pissed the other person off in some way. But it wasn't like a life-threatening ordeal. It was just a little na boo boo, like a one-upping, like I got one over on you kind of thing. And then it's a tit for tat. Tit for tat is a person does something to you, you do something back to them, and then it goes back and forth. It's just really honestly wasted energy, and it's just like childish. It's like very low vibrational. It's a toxic kind of behavior, but a mildly toxic behavior. You can get out of it. It's not like an ongoing thing. It's like more of a temporary act. Like you got in your feelings, instead of stopping it there and exploring what you were feeling and why you were feeling it and handling it as an adult and going through the steps that you would have to take to bring yourself back down to earth and center yourself, you decide to do something silly. So it's like being petty in a moment, right? Now, the opposite of that, usually when you do something in that manner, like the petty brigade or whatever, most people, not all people, but most people feel bad about it after they've done the act, because they're like, I should have took the high road. Like, why did I even do that? That was senseless. It just didn't make any sense. It's like not even the work of a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And then you feel bad about it, and then you go through remorse and you go through apologies, and then you try to do better the next time. So you understand that's your trigger, and you try to keep yourself away from people that trigger you until you can heal whatever that trigger is. And a trigger is just something that someone does that pisses you off. Usually when you're triggered, people know what they're doing. Usually people know you well enough. Usually you're triggered by someone who knows you. So they know your weak points or your weak topics or the things that really set you off. So that's a trigger. So, and I'm sure there's a better way to explain that, but right now it's like 12 at night, and that's what I'm coming up with. But I promise you, you can go do your own research and have them say it in more eloquent words or stylish words than I can right now. The second thing I discuss when I talk about karmics is a more of a karmic who has chosen a specific lifestyle. So a karmic that I speak of is a karmic that lives in the low vibration. He or she is anchored there. They love it there. They don't want to move. They don't want to move their aspirations, inspirations higher. They live in the basement, so to speak. So they like doing all the immoral acts that they do, whether it be drinking and drugging, and sexing anything and everybody, you know, um, just despicable and deplorable acts. Like they're not above, if they hate someone and if that person triggers them because they live an opposite end of the spectrum. Like for instance, I had a issue right now with I've had in the past, but I've separated myself. Even after you separate yourself from these people, they do things behind the scenes, unbeknownst to other people, to try and hurt you. So, like for instance, I had a situation with a young lady who was she did everything. She's a sex worker. She did drugs and she did all kinds of despicable acts, but she pretended to be the opposite. So what she decided to do was she decided she wanted to swap identities with myself and herself. So unbeknownst to everyone else at the time, she just told all these lies, which is why a liar has to be stopped at the quick. You can't hide for a liar. You can't pretend. You know, if they say, tell you something and say, well, don't tell so and so. Well, if you're talking about so and so be present? That would dead a lot of it right there. But people don't do that. They enable narcissists. And narcissists seek to, if they can't destroy you, they lie on you. And then if it doesn't work, them lying on you doesn't work, it just keeps upgrading. It upgrades higher and more degrading and more despicable and deplorable acts. So if they can't initially make everyone think, oh, there's something wrong with you or blah blah blah, they do elaborate lies. They don't just do little bitty lies. They do elaborate lies and they pay people to lie. It's like they start this whole smear campaign. Okay, it's a little bit much. And people don't think, because if someone's going out of their way to talk about somebody and to make somebody be, oh, you just met this person, all of a sudden you know this person better than anyone in the group. Like, people don't even think to ask questions like, how do you know this person? Oh, a friend of a friend. What's the friend's name? Where does the friend live? I need to talk to the friend. And then if this person is really doing all this, why can't we just confront this person all together and be like, hey, blah, 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 you know it's the truth, blah, blah, blah. No, they know they're lying. They just don't want others to know they're lying. And they don't want the lie to be found out. They want to cause all these grievances and remain anonymous so that person is distraught and doesn't know, like, where are all these lies coming from? I don't understand. I haven't done this. This is not true. La, 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 whatever. But it's like your sheer existing, just by you existing, pisses them off. It's like, I dare you exist. I want everyone to think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. And you being alive messes that up for me. It doesn't make sense to you or me, but it makes perfect sense to them. And they do all kinds of lewd and crude acts. But this is the thing. Whenever a narcissist makes up a story on someone, 9 times out of 10, they use their own experience. So when it says projecting, they take their life story and project it onto another. So say if they're a prostitute, right? They'll say, oh, this person is, or if they're, a Sally Sidewalker. You understand what I'm talking about? And they sell themselves for a couple of pieces of change. They will say, oh, this woman did this and did that, and I know a friend of a friend. I know someone, a friend of mine said XYZ, 1, 2, 3. How in the world did you come up with such elaborate stories on such a short notice? And if you don't know that person and it's your friend, how come your friend can't tell the story again? How come your friend can't recant the story if they're your friend, quote, air quote, told you these things? But no one ever thinks about it, because in today's society, it's like there's this parasitical energy amongst people. They like to hear dirt. They like to hear filth and debauchery. So it's like, so those people that don't even live in the basement like that, that don't visit the basement on those bases, they hate those people for whatever reason. It's like their sheer existing offends them in some way. You understand? It's like, it's why the world is like it is now. People are afraid to stand up to certain types of people because they're afraid of the backlash. Well, baby girl, baby boy, it's a new day. And there's a new sheriff in town. Okay? There's a new energy on this earth, and nobody's going to accept that anymore. That's not acceptable. And I'm not going to sit here and say sorry, because I'm not sorry. It's been a long time coming. It used to be when we were younger, you get your teeth darn near slapped out of your mouth if you lied or you told stories about people or on people. And people just dismissed it and told you to shut your mouth, and they didn't want to hear it, and nobody ever brought it up again. You understand what I'm saying? Now, a karmic, in that sense of the word, a karmic is someone who perpetually and continually does all types of bottom feeder things to people. And they don't stop at just, oh, I don't want this person around my person, or I don't want this person in my friend group, or I don't want this person to have anything in life. Like it's a campaign brought against a person because they don't like that person, because that person has a pure personality. Whatever pure means to them. It could just be somebody normal that just never did any other things that they've done in their lifetime, you know? So they feel like it's their duty to persecute this person for whatever reason. Now, they have done this many, many times before, which is why they have no reason to think that it wouldn't work this time. But see, there's all kinds of different people in the world, and there are people who are being watched over, nurtured, and protected since the day they were born. Did bad things happen to them? Yes, bad things still happen to them. But these people, these narcissists think, and these narcissistic karmics think, well, I didn't see them suffer. I want to see them suffer. Baby, who died and made you God? Nevertheless, who died and made you the God of somebody else? And somebody that understands how the energy in this universe works, understands that you are no God to them. You can be a God to yourself, but to a strong-minded, strong-willed person who had to fight their way through every healing process to get to where they are. Do you think that was easy? No, it wasn't. I'll tell you. It was not easy. It was not easy fasting. It was not easy reading at 2 and 3 in the morning after work, trying to heal my body and trying to heal my mind and trying to heal my emotions. And emotions are the hardest thing to heal because you can't see them. So you can't see bruises on your emotions, right? So sometimes there's some things that happen in your emotions that you've trapped inside your body that you don't even get to even touch on until you are in a situation or you're talking to someone or you're living life, and then it comes up, and then something in your head says, your higher self says, see that right there? You got to heal that, baby girl or baby boy. You got to heal that. Son or daughter, you got to heal it. And that stems from this, that, or the third. But you see, karmics don't have time to reason within themselves because they're lazy. They don't do that. It just makes more sense for them since they take things. That's how they get things. They take them. They take them from people. They just take. So until you heal, you will be fodder. You will be food. You will be eaten by these people because that's what they do. They use and abuse and then they discard. Do you understand? Let me say it again. They use and abuse and then they discard. And should you be the one to say, I'm putting up boundaries, I don't want you in my energy. Excuse me. I don't want you around my home. I don't want you in the same circles I run in. Just stay away from me, respectfully. They don't want to hear that. I dare you exist in the world, in this world out there while I exist. They don't understand how these things work because if you send poison out in the universe sends you back poison. That's how the whole frequency thing works. If you send good things out in the universe, you're going to get good things. But these people don't think of it like that. If something bad happens to them, they target the person that they tried to hurt. So if that person is living their life and none the wiser, and they send death threats or they send all kinds of whatever kind of threats against their money, try to block their money. Number one, you're not God. You're not the God of that person. Definitely you're not. You can only be God to yourself. Okay? So if that person could not even know you're doing anything to them. All they got to do is remain in a high vibratory spirit, pray, stay in tune with the Most High, because the Most High will give you, baby. When I tell you, that's your lifeline. You heard me? That is your lifeline. Stay in tune. Tap in, baby. That keeps you abreast of all the spiritual acts going on. There have been times where I've been around people and I smell something. Because some people, they have, man, when I tell you, these clairs are no joke. When you're around somebody, right? And y'all talking or whatever, and you like, I don't know what it is about that person. They seem cool, but I don't know. It's just something. It's just something. I don't know what it is. It's something. And you don't take heed. Finally, you find out a little something about that person. You're like, that's what the heck it was. Whenever your spirit is not calm with somebody, is not comfortable around somebody, take that as an omen or your sign to part ways and chuck up the deuces, because that is not someone you want to be around. That is your soul letting you know you're in danger. The soul has done this thing before. The soul is clear on all of this. A lot of the people that we meet were people from lifetimes past that we did all these different they were in our missions before. Sometimes some of them were the reason for our downfall or our deaths, our unaliveness in other lifetimes. You understand what I'm saying? So they kind of follow you every lifetime. And it's like, some people may have the ability to tap into their Akashic records, some may not. It just depends on the person. Do you understand? But when you smell and get a whiff of that person, do everything you can to block yourself off from that person. Say your say your prayers and give your protective incantations or whatever you want to call them. But the main thing that's going to help you is to heal. The more you heal, the more abundance. And I'm not talking money. The more you heal, the more coherent you get. The more you heal your inner child, the more mature the adult gets. The more you heal, the more you can hear, see, smell, understand, and the faster, if that makes sense. But just understand, with a true karmic that's anchored, and I do mean anchored like an anchor on a boat, a true karmic is anchored in that energy. They're low vibrational. They do low vibrational things. The first tell sign of a karmic is they love to gossip about people. They talk about people all day, every day. They complain about, oh, I need so much help because I ain't got money and I ain't got this. Well, maybe if you shut up, stop talking about other people. Don't focus on other people. Focus on you. Focus on you and what you need to do for your life, and you will see a turnaround. Of course, you got to burn off some of that karma you picked up over the lifetimes. You understand what I'm saying? You got to start burning off some of that karma. And you ain't going to burn off karma by making a spell. That ain't how the universe works. The universe is not daft. The universe understands who and what you are. Each and every one of us. Okay? So whatever you do to someone else, that's what the universe is going to give you. You don't get what you want. You get what you are sometimes. And other times, for the healers and the empaths, people are drawn to you because you are the light and you are a giver. Your task in life is to heal that thing within you that wants to be a martyr. You understand what I'm saying? That persecution fixation that some of us have from lifetimes before. Stop that ish. Like, for real. You can't keep giving to people that don't deserve your time and energy. Your time, the amount of concentration or focus you put on someone, that's abundance. So why would you give your abundance to foolish people that only want to use and hurt you? There are some wicked people in this world. And I understand now why my father and my grandfather wanted me protected and wanted me away from the world, because they wanted to give me time to assess my own emotions and feelings. So as an adult now, I've been in a better stance to be able to handle it. So it enabled me to teach my offspring at an early age the things that that I had to learn at an older age than them, that most people probably learned, I don't know, preteen. These people have no emotions. Like, honestly speaking, Pay attention to someone. Pay attention to someone who's a true narcissist. They have no emotions. They have zero emotion. I promise you, pay attention. A true narcissist does not have emotions. What they do is parrot back to people reactions that they have seen other people parrot to people. You understand? So they watch you intently because they're trying to move in this world, but they're trying to mask the creature that they are. Do you understand? So they don't want people to understand, because they've understood over time that the cold, callous way they act doesn't garner respect. It doesn't garner empathy from people. It garners dislike, distrust. People don't want to be around them. So they have to parrot or mirror back to people what people have seen from other people, if that makes sense. So if they see an interaction between you and another friend, and that friend says, oh, blah, 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 this and that happened to me, and then my car broke down, and I'm just having such a hard day, and I can't understand. And then you're like, oh, they're there. So they watch that person's behavior, and they watch that interaction, and they think, okay, she did this, and she cried like this, and she moved her head like this, and she fluctuated her voice like this. And then they mirror that same thing back in another, further down the line to try and get some of that sympathy, because they feed off of you. Narcissists feed off of you. They're energetic vampires. It's like a parasitical personality. It's like they feed off of you. They drain you dry if they could. Your energy is so valuable. I can't say it enough. Your energy is so valuable. It helps you move through this realm, and it helps you carry out your purpose, and it helps you get the purpose taken care of. We don't know how many people we're slated to meet or teach just by bumping into them or just being on our journey, right? But you have these entities and things, because I believe, I have no proof of this, but I believe how do I explain this? So, it's a progressive thing to pick up entities or low vibrating energies, okay? So the first low vibrating entity that you receive, you may be able to control it, but as you go and as you sink lower in your vibration, you pick up more lower vibrating entities that make holes in your aura and do all these things. This is why it's so important to do the spiritual baths and the sound baths and all of these things. So it's like there's times where I am listening to a sound bath, like energy sound all day, because I already know where I'm going. I know the vibrational arena that I'm going into. So I have to ready myself. I have to soldier up, so to speak, right? So if you can have a headset in your ears while you work, and you listen to vibrational cleansing music, oh my goodness, that alone is like 2 weeks of work in a few hours, in 8-12 hours, whatever your work day looks like. But it is so imperative to know and understand, when you meet these creatures, you can set boundaries, but they won't follow them. I promise you, they won't follow them. They're sneaky. They're underhanded. They will lie on their mama. They do not care. They don't care. They will hurt whoever and whatever. They don't care. And you can sit and fool yourself into thinking that they can change. They cannot. They cannot. They don't have the mechanisms that other beings have to say, okay, that was not right. You probably shouldn't have done that way, or you probably shouldn't have done that at all. You should apologize to that person. They're not doing that. And if they do an apology, it's to lure someone into a false sense of, oh, they've changed, so you can let down your guard so they can pounce on your happy behind and finish you off. And that's what it is. They only know one thing. How can I get what I want? Period. Period. That's it. So we as awakened people have to be smarter and more intentional about what we do. And understand that there are beings out here that are doing their job, but nonetheless, the intention is intense. So we better get on our P's and Q's and clean it up and understand what that means for us. This has been Christina Ariel. Love, peace, and light. Namaste.